Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of Ariana Grande fragrances behind me, and that is because today we are discussing all of the Ariana Grande fragrances, literally every single one, except for that one called Frankie, which like resells for $500 on eBay. I am excited to do this YouTube video, but not that excited. I've been on a little bit of a Ariana Grande fragrance kick lately. I just think that they're really great, affordable celebrity fragrances that are some of the better celebrity fragrances out there. So I wanted to cover all of them, and I dipped a toe into the body mist as well. So I have 4 of the body mists. One of the body mists actually smells way better than the fragrance version. So if you're interested to find out which one that is, then stay tuned until the end. And if you're new here, then welcome. This is The Scented. My name is Yana. We talk about all things fragrance, cheap things, expensive things, all the things in between, all the fun fragrance things basically. So if that's your vibe, then hit that sub button, hit the notification bell, stay tuned for any new videos coming up, and let's get into this entire Ariana Grande fragrance review. Let's start with Moonlight. Aside from the adorable packaging and the little pom-pom, this one was the first one that I had ever smelled in shop that I kind of was like, okay, I see what you're doing here, and I like it. And this is a nice sweet plum blackcurrant marshmallowy fragrance with peony, vanilla, very soft, very fluffy, gently sweet, kind of gives me the vibe of like fruity icing sugar. Really lovely, not overpoweringly sweet, nothing synthetic or weird about the scent. Very easy wearing, cozy, flirty, gentle, girly. I think this would make a perfect everyday scent for anyone that's a little bit younger and upwards. I think this is a very mass appealing, easy to love fragrance, and it doesn't smell cheap. I love this one. So yeah, if you're looking for like a fluffy, marshmallowy, almost like the dusted powder on marshmallows, but embellished with a fruity facet, this is it. It's not complex, but it's super, super likable. And I'm gonna say right now, in general, I have to say I do enjoy the Ariana Grande fragrances more than the Britney Spears fragrances. I did a Britney Spears collection review here. I know those are super popular and really well loved in the fragrance world, but these ones just hit different. And after hyping that first one, thank you next. This is the first one that I smelled in store, and I was like, I hated it. I hated it when I smelled it in store. I thought it was vile. I thought it smelled synthetic and weird, and maybe I was smelling something from like the rubbery scent in here, because that's not ideal. But this one is a coconut scent, and I do struggle with a synthetic coconut. It smells like a plastic coconut with raspberry. It doesn't smell nice from here. It dries down to a relatively nice scent on the skin, but I have to say this is the one that I like the least. It has a French macaroon note in the base, which is really nice, and it's airy and it's fluffy. But the first instant in the opening, there's something that kind of smells almost like a burned rubber coconutty scent. It's just not enjoyable. It's sweet at the same time. Very weird. Very, very weird. Strangely addictive. I want to keep smelling it. I don't really want to smell like this though, like that weird burnt rubber facet. Something's just not vibing. But the macaroon note is in here, and it comes through really nicely. And when it dries down, it's nice. It's not wow, but it's nice in the dry down. If it weren't for this video, I probably wouldn't have purchased this fragrance. I will rank them favorite to least favorite at the very end, so stay tuned for that as well. And let's move along to Thank You Next 2.0. It came out in 2021. I live in Canada. I could only find this online at London Drugs, so I ordered it online. And this one I actually really like. The note breakdown in this one is different. This doesn't have coconut. It has wild strawberries, pomegranate, red apple, and you really smell those wild strawberries. Like in my childhood, I used to drink a black tea that had those wild strawberries in it, and it was amazing. And sometimes David's tea has it where it's strawberries and cream, and it's a really nice black tea. Kind of reminds me of those strawberries. They're almost like candy smelling strawberries. They have more of that strawberry essence. It does have that marshmallowy facet that I find is kind of signature amongst all of the Ariana Grande fragrances. She does a really nice marshmallow. I mean, not she herself, but her fragrances all tend to have a nice marshmallowy thing going on. Just like the master of marshmallow in the celebrity world. Anyway, this one I love. It has a really nice creamy berry thing going on. Beautiful wild strawberry note. This is done right. My hair does not want to stay in the braid. These little curtain bangs keep falling out, so it's gonna keep changing. Before I forget, I do want to mention one of the fragrances that I used to have and sold because I didn't like it, and it was Ariana Grande's R.E.M. I was super intrigued by that one because it had notes of zephyr, it had lavender notes. Zephyr is like the Eastern, like European marshmallowy type of thing as well. My grandma loves this stuff. She has it with her coffee and tea all the time. It's like a more dense sugar crusted marshmallow that has two pieces that are kind of like stuck together. So kind of like a French macaroon, except there's no filling in the middle. It's just like two little coney shaped marshmallows smushed together, usually is how it comes. Sometimes they're chocolate coated. Anyway, this is not a lesson on zephyr, but now you know what it is if you didn't know. So anyway, I love that stuff too. And lavender is a note that I really love. It had really intriguing notes, caramel, fig, all the things. And what happened was, yes, I did get kind of a milky lavender thing, but the overpowering kind of synthetic rubber scent that was in the undercurrent came through more than anything on my skin. And it really just smelled like latex, rubber, like really just rubber. And I had to get rid of it. So that one, I guess it really depends on your skin chemistry, because I know a lot of people really love that scent. For me, it did not work at all. It just smelled like straight up rubber. So R.E.M. is, spoiler alert, my hatest one. I don't have it here. I strongly dislike it. I tried it again recently in store to make sure that I wasn't just, being weird during my pregnancy, and it is still rubber. So it was not pregnancy related. It still smells like rubber on my skin. I did not repurchase it. And I think that rubberiness comes from the musk note, because I do find a lot of musk fragrances do come through kind of rubbery on me. I found it in the Narciso EDP. I found it in Rosendo Mateo number 5, which is like a niche, expensive musk scent. It came through rubbery on my skin. So musk, it's fickle. It can go either way. R.E.M. didn't work for me for that reason. Moving on to the good stuff. God is a Woman. I think I like this packaging the least. And this is a fluffy, musky, pear dominant scent. It's very gentle. Another thing that I thought when I smelled this one at first in store, like upon very first impression when I ever smelled it, is that it did remind me kind of that Baccarat Rouge vibe that Cloud has. So this one and Cloud, they do have some sort of similarity in that sweet fluffiness, but the more I smell it, the more different it smells. And it smells different on the skin. It is a really lovely, soft, fluffy, pear, musky, ambrette scent. Again, it smells like it could have that marshmallowiness that the rest of them have. They all have this gentle, pillowy softness about them that is really, really enjoyable. So packaging, not a fan, but maybe if I take it out of the sleeve, that's a little bit better. But I do really like the scent. It's different, it's pleasant, and it's not your typical just sweet celebrity scent. Then, of course, the infamous Cloud. Everyone knows this one. This is definitely one of the best budget fragrances out there. It is very similar to Baccarat Rouge in scent profile, especially on the skin. Like, it has a little bit of a milky coconut facet as well, but it doesn't really come through that way on the skin. It transitions to a scent that does strongly mimic Baccarat Rouge, especially to somebody who isn't really that familiar with the scent profile, maybe isn't like a complete fragrance fanatic and can tell them apart. Upon first sniff, yes, there is a similarity. I will say this is one of the better ones out there. It's popular for a reason. It's one of the most complimented for a reason. I can see the hype for sure. This is the most complimented fragrance on TikTok, by the way. If you wanted to see my video on the most complimented on TikTok, you can check that out here. I was surprised to find that this one was at the top. Like literally almost every most complimented video featured Cloud. So yeah, it is probably the most unique, one of the more unique out of the entire lineup. It has something striking about it, captivating, and it does smell like a fragrance that is very expensive and very well known. I love this one as well. I used to wear it a lot, but I got sick of it. So I just don't reach for it anymore. That scent profile has become like too familiar for me, and I'm just a little bit tired of it. Like, I love smelling it out of here, and I think it's a nice scent. I can't deny that It's a really well done scent, especially for a celebrity scent, but I just personally don't reach for it anymore. Then we have Cloud 2.0. I was really intrigued by this one, and I have to say, I think I personally do enjoy this one more than the original Cloud for some reason that I can't quite pinpoint. Maybe it's less coconutty to me. It's just one that I gravitate to more. It does smell extremely, extremely similar to the original Cloud, but it's just more cozy to me. It has more cashmere, and I suppose it's more cozy. Like, it really just smells more cozy. Milky, comforting. I guess less like Baccarat Rouge. It has more of a milkiness to the scent. This, for me, as with many of these, would be just like a very casual, chilling at home, but you still want to smell really nice type of scent. They're like, I wouldn't really wear this one out personally. It's just, it smells too cozy. I don't want to wear this one while I'm, you know, eating pizza, hanging out on the couch in like my flannel jammies on a cold day. And this is just really comforting. Just a really nice, casual, comforting scent. Extremely similar to the original Cloud, but I do personally prefer the 2.0. It smells fluffier and muskier to me, a little bit less coconutty, I guess a little bit less sweet, just more cozy. Another one I don't have a full bottle of is Sweet Like Candy. I like the scent, but I just don't like it enough to buy a full bottle. For me, it's mostly just like a whipped cream scent. Has a little bit of like a tropical floral facet, but really it's just a simple kind of vanillic whipped cream scent to me. It's lovely, but it is just like kind of sweet like candy, a fluffy candy, and that's basically all it is. I think it would be a great scent for layering, but I didn't want to buy it after I'd worn it several times at the boutique. But I do have the Sweet Like Candy limited edition, which if you guys are looking for this and you don't want to spend $250 or whatever that they're reselling on eBay for, which like people are out of this world with those price points. Guys, I got this on Fragrance Net and I think it was 40 or 50 bucks, and they had a whole bunch of these tester bottles. So if it's still there, then go grab them, and please don't go resell them for $250 on eBay. Like, just don't. This one I do like more than the original Sweet Like Candy, even though they do have quite a similarity. They are both marshmallowy, sweet, kind of whipped cream scents. This is different in that it has like a cranberry facet. There's a nice tartness in the opening. Black currant you can smell throughout as well. It's very like tart, fruity. You get a little bit of that tropical frangipani and still maintains that creamy sweetness. So this one is very playful, very flirty, girly as well. Better than the original Sweet Like Candy to my nose. Just, it's a little bit more interesting, and I think the packaging is super cute. I love the red pom-pom in the red bottle. And if you are a fan of like a sweet, creamy type of scent, I think this one would be great. It's nice, like nice, period. And finally, R.E. This is my last one. I think the packaging is just the cutest. Like, I'm gonna have to stop saying that, but I do love these little pom-poms. This is raspberry. Through and through, the opening is a nice sweet raspberry, pear, marshmallow. This is really, really nice. I think of the pom-pom bottles, this one is my second favorite after Moonlight. Very close second. Like, this and Moonlight do smell really, really lovely to me. I think that's a great fruity scent. I think she does great with not making like just fruity florals, but they have this really cozy undercurrent of marshmallow. They all have this lovely marshmallowy fluffiness, so I do crave that in fragrances sometimes. There's a freshness to it as well. So this one does have Lily of the Valley, which almost gives you like a fresh out of the shower scent for just a moment, and a little bit of grapefruit, but it's so subtle. Like, it doesn't come through citrusy at all. It just contributes nicely to the raspberry and the pear. It's just a really lovely scent. So yeah, now we've covered all of the perfumes. Let's move on to the 4 mists that I have. So I have the Sweet Like Candy, Thank You Next 2.0, Cloud, and the original Thank You Next. We'll start with the Sweet Like Candy mist because honestly, this smells to me exactly the same as the perfume itself, and it wears very, very similarly. Of course, the longevity on these is going to be worse than on the perfumes. And I know I didn't comment on performance, and a lot of you guys do want to know about the performance. For me, except for Cloud, they all perform around the 4-hour mark consistently. They all perform around the 4-hour mark, except for Cloud, which lasts longer. For some reason, Cloud lasts around the 6 to 8-hour mark for me sometimes, but the rest of them are hovering around the 4-hour mark. These body mists, maybe about an hour. The Thank You Next one, that one actually lasts. The body mist, that one lasts a couple hours. So anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah, Sweet Like Candy, very simple. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. It's nice, but it's quite boring, and it does smell very similar to the perfume itself, but just more diluted. The Cloud body mist, it smells very similar as well, but it has a little bit more of a sharpness. It's more alcohol based. It's less of the actual fragrance. It smells similar, but it's lacking the body and the depth and that Baccarat rouginess that the fragrance has. So this one, again, I would say go for the actual perfume. That one delivers, and this one is just, it falls flat a little bit. It lacks the body and the depth. So yeah, it's similar, but it's just very alcohol-y. The Thank You Next 2.0 actually smells really, really nice. You do get those berries and that nice sweetness. Like, you do get that wild strawberry scent. It's a lot more diluted, of course. It's a lot more diluted, but if you are grabbing a mist and you can't find the Thank You Next 2.0 anywhere and you just see the mist, I think it's still worth it. It smells really nice. Of all of them, this one is really, really nice. And the body mist that I actually think is better than the fragrance itself is the original Thank You Next. The original Thank You Next mist somehow comes through so nice, like not that synthetic, dusty, rubbery coconut scent, but a really beautiful, sugary, kind of like raspberry coconut scent, very milky, very smooth. I find such a huge difference between the mist and the perfume. It lasts a couple hours, so the smell is there. You can spray like a body spray. It is a body spray. But it doesn't have that weird rubbery thing, that synthetic thing that comes through in here. This actually smells beautiful. A really nice, milky, coconutty scent with some sweet raspberry. Even a little bit of that nuttiness. I guess the French macaroon comes through with that almond nutty base. I like this one. I like everything about it. On my skin, it wins 100 times over the actual perfume, which is so weird, but that's what it does. So now that I've talked about all of them, I'm going to rank them best to worst. And if you guys wanted to sample any of them, they are available on my Decant shop. It's thescented.ca. So if any of these caught your attention, you want to try them, you can sample them there. So here we go. So of the ones I have, Thank You Next 2.0 is my favorite at the moment. I love that wild strawberry note. It's so lovely and it's so different. Then I love the Clouds, of course. They're kind of on the same spot. They're very, very similar. I love the scent, but I don't gravitate towards them as much, but I'm trying to be as objective as possible. And in terms of like quality of scent, bang for your buck, performance, all of that, these ones are killer. Then I love Moonlight. Again, this one and R.E.M are very, very close for me. They're almost on the same spot. So I'd put both of these on the number 3. Next is the Sweet Like Candy limited edition. Then God Is a Woman. Then I would put the original Sweet Like Candy, which I don't own. After that, Thank You Next, the fragrance. And lastly, I would put R.E.M. Like I told you guys, it smells like rubber on my skin. So that was the ranking for the perfumes. And for the body mists, I would put Thank You Next as number 1. Thank You Next 2.0 as number 2. These ones are very, very close for me. Almost on the same spot. I guess I would put Cloud before Sweet Like Candy only because it mimics the fragrance, which is more on the unique side. There you have my entire review of the Ariana Grande fragrance collection. If any of you guys have tried Frankie, I would love to hear what that one smells like because it's like literally impossible to find. So I'm just curious and I would love to hear what your favorite Ariana Grande fragrance is. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.